All right, you're good to go.
Great, thanks, Colton. Good morning. I am Juliana Reshik, and I serve as president of the Kansas State Board of Nursing. I ask the members of the board to respond to a roll call to signify their presence at this open meeting that is being conducted remotely. Patricia Zeller.
Here.
Rebecca Saunders. Adri Goldsmith.
Here.
Gwendolyn Lloyd. Andrea Watson.
Present.
Melissa Orpez.
Here.
Lori Owen.
Here.
Giovanni Gahn. Gita Noble.
Here.
And Jade Ramsdale.
Present.
I also ask the following staff members who are present to respond. Carol Moreland, Executive Administrator.
Present.
Adrian Guerrero, Director of Operations. Linda Davies, Practice Specialist. Janelle Martin, Nursing Education Compliance Officer. Chelsea Stevenson, Education Specialist. Jill Simmons, Executive Assistant.
Present.
So before we begin the meeting, I want to make the following statements regarding this meeting that is being conducted remotely. Public individuals who have requested notice of the board's meetings. Additionally, the notice and a technical difficulty during the meeting. You may obtain a copy of the notice and agenda at the website or by sending an email to carol.moreland@ks.gov with the subject line, request for the agenda, and the board staff will send it to you. Number 3, the only mediums for interactive communication offered for this meeting are by Zoom and YouTube, as previously stated. Number 4, each member of the board, board staff, or presenter shall state the person's name and title each time the person speaks or votes, as the case may be. Number 5, each participant to this meeting shall ensure microphones, phones, or other electronic devices are on mute when the participant is not speaking. Number 6, each motion will be clearly stated before the board votes, and the president will announce the results of the final vote. Number 7, a statement or motion will clearly identify and authorize by delegation each member of the board or staff who will be permitted to sign any document on behalf of the board. Number 8, the meeting is being recorded and the recording will be posted to the board's website. The board has the following items on the agenda. KAR 60-1-102, titled Approval Procedures. KAR 60-1-104, titled Definitions. KAR 60-2-101, titled Requirements for Initial Approval. KAR 60-2-102, Reapproval Requirements. KAR 60-2-103, titled Nursing Program Faculty and Preceptor Qualifications. KAR 60-2-104, Curriculum Requirements. KAR 60-2-105, titled Clinical Resources. KAR 60-2-106, titled Educational Facilities. KAR 60-2-107, titled Student Policies. KAR 60-2-108, titled Reports. The meeting is now called to order, and the board will begin the meeting with the next item on the agenda. So Carol Moreland, I'd like to call on you to maybe give us some history about the development of these and the processes that have taken place already in preparation for today's meeting.
Good morning, everyone. This is Carol Moreland, Executive Administrator, and I would be glad to do that. These regulations, proposed regulations, have actually been in the process for over 3 years. They originated out of the Education Department, and the intent for the changes was to actually bring Kansas's regulation up to national benchmark on some of these. And then there was a national simulation study that was done a few years ago that showed exactly how much simulation could take place, and the outcomes would still be the same as if someone was working with a live patient, 100% of their clinical time versus maybe 50% of their clinical time is simulation and 50% is working with patients. So both most of these changes really have stemmed from that. Now, the rest of it is kind of cleanup of the language, which typically takes place anytime that we look at revising regulations. As it goes through the process, kind of the language gets cleaned up. We did add some definitions for the different kinds of nursing programs, like bi-level, all of that, because we use those terms a lot. However, we didn't have a definition of them before. And we did a very strong definition for the nursing program administrator, because that was kind of diluted the way that we presently have it. And going out and doing site visits, sometimes that was a little bit of an issue when we couldn't really tie it back exactly to a regulation. So we really tried to strengthen the definition and the responsibilities for the nursing program administrator so that the nursing administrator would know it, so that maybe administration at the educational facilities would also know it and stuff like that. And I think that's probably the majority of the changes. But just to kind of let you know the process that's taken place since all of that, you see that all of these proposed regulations are stamped 3 times, one from the Division of Budget, one the Department of Administration, and the Attorney General's office. So these have been through the process, and then they have the Secretary of State stamp on them, because that's what they get when they go over and they get published in the Kansas Register. They were published in the Kansas Register on August 19th, in addition to the notice of the public hearing and the 60-day comment period. So just to kind of let you know, the 60-day comment period, we are required to do that. At that point in time, during those 60 days, anyone can send written comments to me, and they go to the board for you to see. And so we did receive a few of those. And then anytime there's regulation proposed changes, they have to go to the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules and Regs. And I did go present to them on September 10th. And you have a document that lists their feedback in your packet. We did have the public hearing on October 25th. There were 6 members of the public and 2 staff in attendance. 1 member of the public provided oral comments and followed up with the written comments. The other public members in attendance did not want to provide comments. The next step then is to provide the written comments received during the public comment period to the board, and also the ones that come from the public hearing. And you do have those on pages 36 through 47 in your packet. And you see the page number of the packets up in the left-hand corner. It will say like board 1, board 2, and stuff like that. Just to kind of let you know what else is in the packet, the proposed regulations are on pages 5 through 32. And just as a reminder, in case you haven't been too familiar with this, anything that has a strike through, if you adopt the regulation, that comes out of the regulation. Anything that's underlined is language that would be added to the regulation. So just kind of let you know that. I also provided a notice of the public hearing that was in the Kansas Register, and that's on pages 2 through 4. And then you also have like the economic impact statement that we have to submit. That's just also on there for you. So the special board meeting today was called for you as the board to review the comments received and then make a decision regarding adoption of these proposed regulation changes. Just kind of let you know, going forward, if you adopt these, then I have to submit the adopted ones and some other paperwork to the Secretary of State's office. It has to be published in the Kansas Register, and then they do not get implemented until 15 days after that. So that's the reason we called the special board meeting versus waiting until December, because we wouldn't have been able to get them through when you wanted the implementation date of January 1st. So that's why we're out just a little bit. So your options, once you're ready to vote, are to adopt the proposed changes for each regulation or not adopt the proposed changes and just leave the regulation as it is now. Or if there's changes that you want made, you can direct me to make those changes, and then I could bring them back to the December board meeting and let you make sure those are what you want, and then they start through the whole process again. Okay, they don't just go to the last step in the process, they start all over. So just to kind of let you know that. When the board is ready to vote on these, we do have to do a roll call vote on each of the proposed regulations separately. That's just a rule that we have to do. So that'll be a little bit different than how you've done it in how you voted on things in the past. If you have any questions for me, I'll be glad to answer them.
Thank you very much, Carol. So hearing no questions or comments from board members. Okay. Jill, would you start us off with our first motion, please?
Yes. Is there a board member who would like to make the following motion pursuant to KSA 77-421 B1? I move that the board adopt KAR 60-1-102 approval procedure and that the vote be taken by roll call vote. A copy is attached here too. The principal reason for adopting this regulation is to be in compliance with KSA 65-1119.
Is there anyone who would like to make that motion?
This is Adri Goldsmith. I make that motion.
Thank you, Adri. Is there a second?
This is Jade Ramsdell, public board member. I second that motion.
Thank you, Jade. Any discussion? Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Jill, will you help us with that too?
Yes. So what I'll do is I'll read your name and then you will just answer yes or no. Juliana.
Yes.
Adri.
Yes.
Patsy.
Yes.
Adriana, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Watson.
Yes.
Okay. Melissa.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Gita.
Yes.
And Jade.
Yes.
And I show that Rebecca, Gwendolyn, and Giovanni are not in attendance today. Is that correct?
Yes,
So
that
with
is.
that, okay, I have we have 8 yeses and 0 nos.
Motion passes. Moving on to our next one, Jill, will you read the motion, please? Proposed motion?
Yes. Is there a board member who would like to make the following motion pursuant to KSA 77-421B1? I move that the board adopt KAR 60-1-104 definitions and that the vote be taken by roll call vote. A copy is attached here too. The principal reason for adopting this regulation is to be in compliance with KSA 65-1119.
Is there a board member who would like to make that motion?
This is Gita Noble, board member, and I make that motion.
This is
Thank
Adri Goldsmith, and I second it.
Thank you, Adri. Any discussion? If not, we'll entertain a vote through roll call.
Juliana,
Yes.
Adri,
Yes.
Patsy,
Yes.
Andrea,
Yes.
Melissa,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Gita,
Yes.
Jade.
Yes.
That will be 8 yeses and
Hey,
0.
Jill,
Yes.
Jill, I believe Rebecca has joined us now.
I just did, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
So,
we want to include her.
Rebecca, if you can answer either yes or no for regulation KAR 60-1-104 definitions.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So that will be 9 yeses and 0 nos.
Motion passes. We'll move on to our next one, Jill.
Is there a board member who would like to make the following motion? Pursuant to KSA 77-421B1, I move that the board adopt KAR 60-2-101 requirements for initial approval and that the vote be taken by roll call vote. A copy is attached here too. The principal reason for adopting this regulation is to be in compliance with KSA 65-1119.
Is there a board member that would like to make that motion?
This is Rebecca, board member. I so move.
Is there a second?
This is Andrea Watson. I'll second.
Thank you, Andrea. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll entertain a vote by roll call.
Juliana,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Aubrey,
Yes.
Patsy,
Yes.
Andrea,
Yes.
Melissa,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Gita,
Yes.
and Jade.
Yes.
That will be 9 yeses and 0 nos.
Motion passes. Moving on to our next one.
Is there a board member who would like to make the following motion pursuant to KSA 77-421B1? I move that the board adopt KAR 60-2-102 reapproval requirements and that the vote be taken by roll call vote. A copy is attached here too. The principal reason for adopting this regulation is to be in compliance with KSA 65-1119.
Thank you, Jill. Is there a board member who would like to make that motion?
This is Jade Ramsdell, board member. I will make that motion.
Thank you, Jade. Is there a second?
Adri Goldsmith, I second.
Thank you, Adri. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll entertain a vote by roll call.
Juliana,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Adri,
Yes.
Patsy,
Yes.
Andrea,
Yes.
Melissa,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Gita,
Yes.
and Jade.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 nos.
Motion carries. Moving
Is
on.
there a, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jill. You're doing a great
Okay.
job.
Is there a board member who would like to make the following motion? Pursuant to KSA 77-421B1, I move that the board adopt KAR 60-2-103 nursing program faculty and preceptor qualifications, and that the vote be taken by roll call vote. A copy is attached here too. The principal reason for adopting this regulation is to be in compliance with KSA 65-1119.
Is there a board member that would like to make this motion?
This is Rebecca, board member. I so move.
Thank you, Rebecca. Is there a second?
This is
Adri
Gita.
Goldsmith, I
Oh, go ahead, Adri.
Second by Adri. Any discussion? We will entertain a vote by roll call.
Juliana,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Adri,
yes.
Patsy,
Yes.
Adrian, or I'm sorry, Andrea,
Yes.
Melissa,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Giovanni, oh, excuse me, she's gone, Gita,
Yes.
and Jade.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 nos.
Thank you, Jill. Motion passes. Moving on to our next one.
Is there a board member who would like to make the following motion pursuant to KSA 77-421B1? I move that the board adopt KAR 60-2-104 curriculum requirements and that the vote be taken by roll call vote. A copy is attached here too. The principal reason for adopting this regulation is to be in compliance with KSA 65-1119.
Is there a board member who would like to make this motion?
This is Rebecca. I so move.
Thank you, Rebecca. Is there a second?
This is Andrea Watson. I'll second.
Thank you, Andrea. Any discussion? Okay, we'll entertain a vote by roll call.
Juliana,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Adri,
Yes.
Patsy,
Yes.
Adria, I am so sorry. I don't know why I'm having trouble with your name this morning. Andrea,
Yes.
Melissa,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Gita,
Yes.
and Jade.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 nos.
Thank you, Jill. Motion passes.
Is there a board member who would like to make the following motion pursuant to KSA 77-421B1? I move that the board adopt KAR 60-2-105 clinical resources, and that the vote be taken by roll call vote. A copy is attached here too. The principal reason for adopting this regulation is to be in compliance with KSA 65-1119.
Is there a board member who would like to make this motion?
This is Rebecca. I so move.
Thank you, Rebecca. Is there a second?
This is Patsy and I so second.
Thank you, Patsy. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll entertain a vote by roll call.
Juliana,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Adri, Audrey,
Yes. If it's not Adriana.
okay,
Yes.
yeah. I think I'll just
Sorry.
start calling you by your last name as well as
I understand.
yeah, sorry. Patsy,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Melissa,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Gita,
Yes.
Jade.
Yes.
9 yeses and 0 nos.
Thank you, Jill. Motion passes.
Is there a board member who would like to make the following motion pursuant to KSA 77-421B1? I move that the board adopt KAR 60-2-106 educational facilities and that the vote be taken by roll call vote. A copy is attached here too. The principal reason for adopting this regulation is to be in compliance with KSA 65-1119.
Is there a board member who would like to make this motion?
This is Rebecca. I so move.
Thank you, Rebecca. Is there a second?
This is Adri Goldsmith. I second.
Thank you, Adri. Any discussion? We'll move to a vote by roll call.
Juliana,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Goldsmith,
Yes.
Patsy,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Melissa,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Gita,
Yes.
and Jade.
Yes.
9 yeses and 0 nos.
Motion passes. Thank you. We have two
Is
more.
there, yes, is there a board member who would like to make the following motion pursuant to KSA 77-421B1? I move that the board adopt KAR 60-2-107 student policies and that the vote be taken by roll call vote. A copy is attached here too. The principal reason for adopting this regulation is to be in compliance with KSA 65-1119.
Is there a board member who would like to make this motion?
This is Andrea Watson, board member. I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Andrea. Is there a second?
This is Rebecca's board member. I'll second.
Thank you, Rebecca. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote.
Juliana,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Goldsmith,
Yes.
Patsy,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Melissa,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Gita,
Yes.
and Jade.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 nos.
Motion passes. And one more, Jill.
Okay. Is there a board member who would like to make the following motion? Pursuant to KSA 77-421B1, I move that the board adopt KAR 60-2-108 reports and that the vote be taken by roll call vote. A copy is attached here too. The principal reason for adopting this regulation is to be in compliance with KSA 65-1119.
Is there a board member who would like to make this motion?
This is Rebecca, board member. I so move.
Thank you, Rebecca. Is there a second?
This is Jade Ramsdell, board member. I second this motion.
Thank you, Jade. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote.
Juliana,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Goldsmith,
Yes.
Patsy,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Melissa,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Gita,
Yes.
and Jade.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 nos.
Okay. Motion carries. Well, thank you all very much. I appreciate everyone's attendance. I think that concludes our business today. Do we need a motion to adjourn?
No, we don't.
Okay, so we are concluded. Thank you all very much. Have a great day.